The walls of the five-star Grand Horizon Hotel sparkled with elegance that night. The chandeliers gleamed like 1,000 diamonds, and the soft jazz playing in the background set the perfect tone for what was supposed to be one of the most prestigious business dinners of the year. Deals worth hundreds of millions of dollars were on the table, alliances between global companies were about to be formed, and reputations were hanging in the balance. At the center of it all was not another CEO or high-ranking official, but a young waitress named Aaliyah. She was hardworking, graceful, and determined to provide for her family, never imagining that she would become the catalyst of a global story. What happened that evening would not only expose Charles's true character, but also send shockwaves across boardrooms and social media worldwide. A single insult, a careless remark dripping with arrogance and prejudice, would cost him a $200 million ordeal instantly and set off a chain of consequences that no amount of wealth could reverse. The Grand Horizon Hotel had become a symbol of prestige. For decades, it had hosted royal families, celebrities, and international business tycoons. That evening, the hotel's banquet hall was reserved for a private dinner between Whitmore Enterprises and Horizon Tech, a rising multinational corporation eager to expand into new markets. A $200 million partnership deal was on the table. Executives, lawyers, and shareholders from both sides gathered around white-clothed tables adorned with crystal glasses and golden cutlery. Waitstaff glided across the room, balancing trays of wine and gourmet dishes. Among them was Aaliyah Johnson, a 27-year-old waitress who had recently taken the job to support her younger brother through college. She had been raised by a mother who worked 3 jobs, and she carried that same resilience in her spirit. To her, tonight was just another shift. She never expected her name to be etched into headlines by morning. Charles Whitmore was not new to wealth or controversy. Having risen from humble beginnings, he often described himself as a man who made it on his own, but those who worked under him would argue that his fortune came at the cost of compassion. He was brilliant, yes, but his arrogance often overshadowed his intelligence. He walked into the hall in a tailored navy suit, his Rolex catching the light with every gesture. People shook his hand, laughed at his jokes, and pretended not to notice the condescending tone that laced his words. Dinner was served in courses. As Aaliyah approached Whitmore's table to pour wine, she carefully leaned forward, her hands steady, but in the commotion of waiters moving, someone bumped into her from behind, causing a few drops of red wine to spill onto the edge of Whitmore's plate. Gasps echoed around the table. Aaliyah quickly apologized. "I'm so sorry, sir. Let me replace this immediately." But Charles's face darkened. He leaned back in his chair, his voice carrying loud enough for the entire table. "Are you stupid or just clumsy?" he snapped. Then, with a dismissive wave of his hand, he added, "Honestly, they let anyone work here these days." The words hung in the air like a sharp blade. The room went silent. Aaliyah froze. Her heart pounded in her chest, but she forced herself to remain calm. She picked up the plate quietly, refusing to meet his gaze, but others at the table did. Among those present was Elena Martinez, CEO of Horizon Tech. Elena was a woman who had fought her way through systemic barriers to reach the top of her corporate world. She understood humiliation, discrimination, and the sting of being underestimated. Watching Charles publicly belittle a hardworking waitress was more than offensive. It was unacceptable. Elena slowly placed her wine glass on the table and said firmly, "Charles, that was unnecessary." Charles chuckled, brushing it off. "Come on, Elena, it's just a bit of banter. She'll live." But Elena's expression hardened. "It's not banter, it's disrespect. If this is how you treat people you think are beneath you, how can I trust you to treat my employees or this partnership with integrity?" The room shifted. Horizon Tech's board members exchanged looks. Some of Whitmore's own team lowered their eyes in embarrassment. Charles tried to recover, offering a smirk. "You're not seriously going to let a minor incident get in the way of a $200 million deal, are you?" Elena didn't flinch. "This isn't minor. It tells me everything I need to know about who I'm dealing with." She stood, her team following. "Horizon Tech is withdrawing from this partnership, effective immediately." Gasps filled the hall. Charles's jaw dropped. He tried to protest, but it was too late. The $200 million deal evaporated in seconds, right in front of him. By morning, the story had spread across social media. Guests who had been present at the dinner shared their accounts, and soon hashtags like #RespectMatters and #WhitmoreCollapse were trending worldwide. Aaliyah, who had quietly finished her shift and gone home, woke up to dozens of missed calls and messages. Her dignity and professionalism had inspired people across the globe. She was invited for interviews, praised for her composure, and even offered better job opportunities. Charles, on the other hand, faced a storm. His stock prices plummeted as investors pulled out. Shareholders demanded his resignation, citing his reckless behavior and lack of respect for human dignity. Within weeks, he lost not just the $200 million deal, but also the trust that had built his empire. It was a humbling fall for a man who had once believed himself untouchable, and all because of a single arrogant insult. It's a stunning reminder that respect and dignity are far more powerful than any amount of wealth or status. Charles, so focused on projecting his own power and belittling those he saw as beneath him, failed to see the strength in Aaliyah's poise and grace, and in the end, he paid a heavy price. This story, while fictional, echoes the timeless truth that humility, respect, and empathy are not just moral virtues, but essential elements of success in any field. Indeed, this story is a powerful lesson about the strength that lies in dignity, grace, and humanity. Indeed, this story is a powerful lesson about the strength that lies in dignity, grace, and humanity. Charles's fate is a stark reminder that money and success cannot shield us from the consequences of our actions, especially when those actions are rooted in disrespect and arrogance. And Aaliyah's response, not just her bravery in the face of humiliation, but her calm, dignified professionalism, showed that true strength can manifest in ways that are quiet and humble, but no less impressive.